with more Shenmue. This is episode 17. Last episode I got a clue about, I don't know, this Tony and Smith fellas. And we're gonna try to figure out this next Longjaw deal. Whatever that might end up being. So yeah. I don't know, last couple of episodes have been kind of interesting. I did an episode where I just talked about film, and last episode I kind of talked about my feelings about this game and kind of gave it a tentative, well, basically a final review score, 6 out of 10. I don't even know what to talk about in this episode.
Everyone. Morning. Time for a daily warm-up race.
You know,
you all do your best now.
Yeah.
Like always, 3 laps to the finish. Everybody ready? Yeah. On your mark. Almost time to go.
I cannot believe this is not an optional thing. Like,
Ready, go.
this feels like one of those things that it should have been. Like, really, I see no reason why this could not have been set up as optional. Like, because it just, like, once you've done it, like, you really don't ever need to do it again. Like, it serves very little purpose at all past its initial, like, oh, this is different, and then, I don't know, that's so strange to me. But, I don't know, I guess that is just how it is, I suppose. I don't know, it's so odd. It's kind of funny though, like now I can just do this almost like with my eyes closed. That's the sad part. Compared to the first time I tried to do this damn thing, or had to do this damn thing I should say. It wasn't a question of try, it was just like, oh, you have to do this. But I don't know, my damn eyes are itching today, I swear. It's like I'm falling apart. I'm just kind of hoping that this episode, I'm really hoping that because I really feel like I'm at the last little bit here of this bullshit. Because now I've got 2 names, I've got people who are obviously involved in Longjaw and Mad Angels, and hopefully maybe that'll amount to something on this episode, I hope, because I'm really losing steam here, if I haven't already at this point. Still debating on what I want to kind of do next, though. I am definitely looking towards the future at this rate, with regards to different video games, something nothing like this, hopefully. Oh boy, man. I don't know, hopefully anybody watching, I hope you're having a great day today. Because man, this is painful, having to do this every single time.
Finish.
Well, I don't know, painful is not a very accurate way to describe it. It's not bad, it's just
Pretty
like...
damn good for a rookie. Here's
like
your first place prize.
I just kind of question why I have to do this every single time. It's such an odd decision to make. Yeah, go ahead, give me my job for today.
Gotcha. Today you gotta move cargo between warehouses. Gotcha. First take a crate from here over to warehouse number 8 and unload it there. Then take a crate from warehouse number 8 to warehouse number 18. You know where that is, right?
I take this to warehouse number 8. Then I take number 8 cargo to warehouse number 18.
Yep.
Yep.
But careful you don't get mixed up.
I won't.
The order's written on the map.
I got it.
This is the same exact thing I did yesterday. See, now I'm starting to wonder if I didn't miss something. Because it is literally the same exact, well, well, I don't know. It sure seems like the same exact thing I did in the previous episode. I don't know, I guess I'll find out here in a second. I don't know. Has anybody listened to any good music lately? I am so lost on music these days. I don't even know anymore. It's like one thing you will probably never hear me talk a lot about is like I will talk about like, you know, if I'm playing a game, like, oh yeah, the music's really good, blah 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 blah. But like just music in general, I tend to be very oh, what's the word? I wouldn't say clueless, but I'm not exactly like, I'm certainly not a trendsetter, and I am definitely not an expert in that field. Kind of wish I was. It's kind of sad. I know I've got several friends who are musicians. I'm like, it's like the obvious idea there would be like, well, Jared, of course you should know about, and it's like, no, I really don't. I really do not. Shame, really. I don't know. It's just so, God forbid. Ooh, excuse me. My goodness. Man. I'm sure there are people who are already sick of seeing this shit. Like, I cannot even imagine. Like, and I highly doubt I am keeping things that interesting, because, like, this is, like, if I'd have known, like, really, if I'd have known that this game was going to end up like this and be this way, I really would never have even attempted to do a playthrough of it. I like, I'm glad I kind of have, so I can say I did, but at the same time, man, I really should have done a little more homework on this before I just jumped to doing a full playthrough of it. But I mean, I mean, it gives an accurate representation of what the game is. I mean, that's kind of my biggest pet peeve a lot of times with, you know, stuff like this. It's like, I want somebody seeing this to know, like, that how this game actually works and what, you know, what they might be getting themselves into. I think that's kind of a, because, you know, it's, I don't want to misrepresent anything, I guess is the best way to put it. I feel like people tend to do that a lot these days, and it irritates the piss out of me when it happens. And I do not want to be part of that kind of racket of, oh yeah, it's the best game ever. Like, no, it's not. Not even in an ironic way. Like, it's this, no. Like, there's no irony here. I'll be honest, like, by the time I finish this, I'm probably just gonna stop and just get completely fucking blasted. I'm at that point. Like, when binge drinking seems like a better alternative to Shenmue, like, that's, whoops. But no, I won't binge drink. I joke when I say that. It's certainly not the plan. But, I mean, this is the kind of game that makes me want to reach for something, like, if, woo, man. Oh, no, let's see. Whoa, artist lady. Jesus, not trying to kill you, I promise. I mean, you know, you gotta give credit where credit is due with this. I mean, like, because, I mean, I know at this point, like, 1999, like, I'm pretty sure there were things that could have been considered, like, in fact, I'm positive there had to have been, like, PC games that were doing sort of, like, open world stuff. I'm pretty sure, there'd been, like, yeah, by this point, there should have been at least 2 Elder Scrolls games on PC, I'm pretty sure. And probably some other stuff I'm not thinking of. When was EverQuest released, now that I think about it? Because that kind of constitutes as an open world game, I would argue. I know this kind of already existed, but, like... Wait. Ooh. Now that's also a question, because a lot of people do. A lot of people toss, like... I completely forgot to grab a box. A lot of people actually toss around, like, oh yeah, Shenmue, that's like one of the first open world games, but correct me if I'm wrong. On the N64, when did Body Harvest come out? When was that released? I don't remember when that was released. But that was like a straight up open world game, and I am not entirely sure when that came out. I don't think that was after well, I guess it could have been after Shenmue, but I don't know. I'll have to look that up and find out, because and I'm not trying to plug holes in Shenmue's like worth as an experience, but like I'm starting to wonder if some people just weren't aware of I guess my argument here that I'm kind of making is like this game is not necessarily revolutionary in as many senses as some people seem to think it is. Like, cause I think there were several games that were doing stuff similar to this, at least in some respects. Probably just not, probably not quite in the same way, but. I don't know, I need to look that up. Because I remember the first time I played Body Harvest, and I played it. Oh lord. I'm trying to remember now, because my brother had it. He had a copy of it, for some reason. I'm not sure, I don't remember if he had gotten it new, or if he had, like, picked it up used. I don't really remember, but I remember very specifically he had a copy of Body Harvest, and I remember being very, kind of impressed with that game, because, like, you could have, like, you could move around. It was a big open world, with some slight, like, sort of Metroidvania elements. Like, you had to, like, go to certain spots and grab certain equipment, etc. You could, like, jump into any vehicle, I remember. That was a thing. I think the game had a time-traveling element to it, if I remember correctly. So I could be really wrong, but I'm pretty sure it did. And if I remember correctly, I believe that game was developed by the same team that turned around later and did Grand Theft Auto 3, I think. I think it was like DMZ Designs or something like that, and they were in, like, Rockstar ended up, like, basically eating them, and then they did Grand Theft Auto 3 or something like that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments. I'm sure I'm probably doing a combination of paraphrasing and just getting it completely wrong, but I'm pretty positive that's kind of what happened with that.
Excuse me.
Hello.
Are you busy, Hisaka-san?
Well, it's not so bad, I'd say.
I see. I've got to go. I'll stop by later.
You got nothing?
Okay, I'll see ya.
You don't want to ask her about nothing? I mean, like, really? It's a little... Okay. The hell?
How's it going?
Bad, I guess. Mark.
Dio, I got some big news.
Huh?
I overheard Tony and Smith saying that a lone Ja is going down soon.
Really? When's it gonna happen?
Maybe within the next few days.
I see.
Be careful, Dio.
Yeah, you too, eh?
No problem. I'm cool. But I'm worried about you, Dio.
See, like, he's saying Dio. That's driving me nuts. Like, I really wonder what the VA stuff was like the voice actor recording sessions were like for this game. I cannot help but be like, just the absolute. I mean, like like it's not so much that it's bad, the voice acting, like it's not bad. It's, or how do I put this? It's extremely inconsistent, and it's like I get the impression that there's a lot of voice actors in this game that the English probably was not their first language. It's just like something about the way some of these characters sound. Like they have really weird intonation and really weird like it's like they don't know what words to emphasize when. I don't know. It's kind of it's very hard to describe. It's very very weird. And I mean, admittedly, I've heard worse. All things considered, I have definitely heard worse. But like, at the same time, it's just kind of strange that. Well, then again, I'm trying to think. 1999. Like, what games would have had? Well, Metal Gear Solid. That was 98. And that was very, very professionally done. And then 1999, what would have been around that time? I don't know. What else would... I don't know. Tell me about that if you can. If you know, like, what other games at the time this game released, like, what other games were there that were doing like heavy amounts of voice acting like this, like lots of voice dialogue? Because like I like Metal Gear Solid jumps out at me because that, you know, because that was 98, I believe, or was that 97? It was somewhere around there. I think it was 98. But I really can't. There had to be more than that, though. Like, I know that's a big one. That was like a kind of a big, huge deal at the time, but... And that's a game, and that, honestly, and speaking of Metal Gear Solid, like, that's a game, like, you could play that game now and say what you will about the overall, like, the feel of it, as far as, like, its age and whether it's aged well or not. I think it's aged pretty well, all things considered. It's a little stiff, but it's not unplayable. But say what you will about the way the game feels to play, but I like, the voice acting in that game still holds up, like, really well. Like, Kojima and his team at Konami at the time, like, they really did. Like, they knew what they were doing with that game. Like, it really holds up. Like, that game holds up so well that the GameCube remake Twin Snakes is, like, nowhere near as good as the original in terms of just the voice acting work. Like, it's like sad, really, how piss poor it is in comparison to the original, the Twin Snakes one. Like, don't even bother playing Twin Snakes. It sucks. It's like, it's not good. Not a good remake. Like, the only good thing about Twin Snakes are the cutscenes, I think. Because I really like the cutscene work in that game, and in the Twin Snakes remake. I thought, like, a lot of people didn't like it, but I loved all of it for the most part. Like, I had no issues with the cutscene direction, and, you know, people are like, well, Snake's jumping off of missiles and shit. And I'm like, well, he is a super soldier. Like, I mean, all things considered, that's kind of, you know, that's the whole point. Like, he's supposed to be able to do stuff like that, sort of. Though I do prefer the more grounded approach of the original. I think it's just, But see, that's kind of the weird thing about it, though, right? Like, when you think about it, like, Metal Gear Solid is a weird outlier of sorts, because you got, like, as soon as you hit MGS2 and on, it just, like, it's as though, well, well, no, well, like, I'm about to say, like, MGS2 is kind of grounded, but, like, it, like, the majority of that game it's grounded, and then it kind of goes right off the fucking deep end in its last act. But I mean, that's more of a style. That's more of like a narrative thing. That's really not so much a. And then MGS3 is actually surprisingly grounded, and then 4 is just a fucking mess, and then 5 is, well.
First, take the cargo to warehouse number 8. Then go to warehouse number 18.
You know, I really feel like I'm just missing something here. I'm getting a little irritated now. And I do not know what it is I'm missing. I don't know. Like, I know I'm supposed to look for these two guys, and I know that that's a thing, but like, I have no clue where on earth they are supposed to be, or how I'm supposed to bump into them, or like again, the game is not really, you know, like, give me a location anyways, like say, oh, they usually hang out at this warehouse, like just something simple like that would be a godsend, instead of the, you know, this vague set of instructions that don't really give you much to work with. I don't know, here's a funny question. Like, anybody watching, did anybody actually own a Dreamcast? Like, because I never owned one. My brother had a used one that he got at somewhere. I'm not really sure where he picked that thing up at. Oh, what am I doing? And he had a used one, and I don't have, like, I know there are many people I know who have very fond memories of the Dreamcast. I don't. Like, I remember Marvel vs. Capcom was a really good port on Dreamcast. I remember that. And I remember that the controller was rough, kind of a rough design. There was a logic to it, but it wasn't exactly ergonomic or comfortable to hold. It was not the best. I remember the VMUs. I remember the memory cards on it too, because they had the little screens on them, and you could like put little games onto them, which is neat. Kind of gimmicky, but I mean, it's, you know, whatever. But I never owned one. I never really had much of a... Like, to be honest, I never had much of an interest in owning one. I remember, like, the Dreamcast was announced. I remember, I think my uncle got one on launch day. And that was about it. And then I remember the PS2 came out, and that I got one of those. And I was like, well, fuck the Dreamcast. This is like whatever. And never really got back to, never got around to getting one, never got around to like wanting one. I don't know, like Dreamcast is just weird, like cause I was a big fan of like the Sega Genesis. I had one of those. I had a ton of games for it, still do somewhere. And I really liked that. I loved the Sega Genesis, or Mega Drive if you're a European friend. Like, really like that. I never owned a Saturn. I don't honest to God, I don't ever even remember seeing. No, I take that back. I did. I actually messed around on a Saturn. This is a very vivid memory. I remember I was in a Toys R Us. This is back when I still lived in Maryland, actually. I remember this very clearly. And we were at a Toys R Us. And I think it was like around Christmas time. Like, I think I had Christmas money, and I remember this very, very vividly, actually. And I was in the store, and I was buying. What did I get? It wasn't a video game I bought. I think I bought like some kind of toy or something. It was some stupid thing, probably in retrospect. But I remember they had a display for a Sega Saturn, and this, I have to be right on this. I remember this so clearly. They had a display of a Sega Saturn, and I remember I picked it up and I thought it was really cool. I was like, oh wow, that's neat. And I remember the game they had in the display, the demo, or I say demo, it was probably just the full game, honestly. And I was playing Bug, if anybody remembers that. I was playing Bug. And I remember, like, I remember just thinking it was really crappy, and I didn't like it, and I wanted nothing to do with it, and that was the one and only time I ever interacted with a Sega Saturn. I was just like, I don't want anything to do with this. Now, in retrospect, that was maybe not the nicest thing, because nowadays I like look, I say, you know, I have no intention of ever getting a Sega Saturn at this point, but like I look at a lot of the games that came out on that thing, and there's actually a lot of stuff I think I would have really liked. But then again, I say a lot of stuff, but it was probably more like maybe 10, there might be 10 games on that thing that may have been like worth my time, and then everything else would have been just pure trash, and I really wouldn't have wanted anything to do with it. But I don't know why. I do remember. I remember I messed around with a Sega Saturn in Toys R Us, and I played Bug. That's B-U-G with an exclamation point. And I just remember it looked really ugly. That was like my biggest takeaway. Like, wow, that looks really ugly. Like garish colors. It just, it was not pleasant. Then again, I could be completely misremembering that, but I'm pretty positive I'm on point with my memory. I've got a pretty sharp memory, kiddos. Like I really do. Ask anybody who knows me if they've ever experienced me telling some kind of story, or usually I give like exact dates, like time and day, like. But I don't know though. I never owned a Sega Saturn, never owned a Dreamcast, wasn't interested. I was sad when Sega finally kind of sort of went under, and they were like, yeah, we can't do hardware anymore, and we're gonna just stick with, you know, software. We're gonna be doing whatever. But now what? What's this? Are those my guys?
It's them. Got a question. You know about the long jaw?
What? What did you say?
You know.
I don't know. Hey!
Hey, wait!
Wait! What do we got? Is this a chase? Whoa.
What?
Oh my god.
See ya, boy! Hey, Bob, help! I'll get rid of him.
Oh shit. Oh no!
Idiot! You crazy!
I'm not doing so great with this, actually.
Hey, Pedro! You need help? What?
Okay.
Help!
When's the long jaw?
I don't know,
Bullshit.
Break your arm!
but I don't know, I swear. Only the boss of the Mad Angels knows.
Who is the boss?
It's Terry.
Terry Bogard?
Terry?
Please, don't tell anyone that I told you,
Okay!
or they'll send me to the bottom of the sea. Oh,
Where is he?
I don't know. It's the truth. Terry's real careful. Oh.
Okay, well.
Got your
Uh-oh.
pay. Here.
Thank you.
No, wait.
Yes?
Someone came to see you earlier.
Really?
Yes, a young man in a suit. He asked me to give this to you.
Thanks.
What is that? A letter.
Hmm.
Okay.
The Mad Angels are after you. Beware. Guizan. Ah, the long jaw. Maybe Master Chin knows about it.
Maybe he does. Oh, thank God. Thank you. Thank you for just sending me there.
Hazuki.
Master Chin, is Landi coming for the long jaw?
The what?
Why do you know about Long Jia?
I got it out of the Mad Angels. So, is Landi coming?
Landi has nothing to do with the Longja.
Only the lowest Chiyo men members are involved.
But Terry and his gang have arranged transport for Landi to a ship.
He's acting as a guide for Landi so as to ingratiate himself with the Chiyo men.
Okay.
Terry and his gang already know about you. And that you're trying to stop the Longjaw.
The items we deal in are expensive. Paintings, calligraphy, antiques, gems. Terry's gang deals in contraband. The next big shipment is drugs.
If they get established, our market will be destroyed.
If our trade route is disturbed, it will cause trouble for us in China.
So, now you see. Go home before you get hurt.
I can't do that.
Someone as young as you should not be involved.
Tell me when the Longjaw is.
I cannot tell you. But if you can be patient and listen to my counsel, no harm will come to you.
Father,
As written in the letter to his father, I'm bound by my promise to Zhu Yuanda. I will hear no more of this today.
Very well. I'll back off for now.
Your father would not have wanted you to throw your life away so senselessly.
Seems Goro and Meyer, we already know that. Need to find a guy called Terry. Huh. Terry. You know, it's wishful thinking. I wish it was just Terry Bogard. That would be amazing. I would, this would go from a 6 out of 10 to a 400 out of,
Mark, do you know of a man named Terry?
nah, sure don't. Who is he?
I think he's the boss of the Mad Angels.
Terry? Sorry, man. Never heard of him.
It's alright. See ya.
Yeah, okay. Wait, did you have more dialogue to... Damn it. I want to exhaust
Mark.
all of it.
If I hear anything about that Terry guy, I'll let you know.
Yeah, thanks.
Dio,
What's up?
be careful. I've got a strong hunch that something's wrong.
A hunch?
I sure hope it's just my imagination.
I hear you. I'll be careful.
Yeah, okay. There's Goro walking around like a dipshit. Oh. I don't even know why I'm coming this way. I guess just out of habit now. I am a creature of habit sometimes, so I guess that makes a certain amount of sense, but I mean, like, this is like this irritates me. Like, there, right here. This is it. This is where they hang out. This is their pad. Very obviously, very clearly. Like, that's the Mad Angels warehouse. Like, Why do I have to, like, well, I don't know, like, I feel like this game could have been handled a little... Okay, so I'm gonna put on my designer cap for a second, and, you know, stop me if I sound ridiculous, but just bear with me. So, like, the way this game seems to flow, right? It is a straight linear line, right? If you just take a piece of paper, draw a straight line, that's how this game flows. And on that line, you just draw a few little bubbles for, like, major plot events or major action events, and that's the game. And you have to go in that order at certain times, you know, in that order. Like, what would make more sense to me is, like, if you kept that straight line, and that's, like, the preferred critical path of the developers, but, like, to add little, not tangents per se, but, like, a split at some point where, like, okay, I don't know what you want me to do here, I'm gonna go do this, and have it generate a result that gets me to the next thing. Like, that would be much better, I think, instead of this weird, like, super
Tom,
funnel shit.
you're looking good.
Yeah, I'm always grooving, man. If I move, more customers may come.
Yeah, sure. Keep it grooving, man.
Oh, you know what? I could have asked Goro, I guess, huh? Could have talked to him and been like, yo, do you know Terry? Since he seems to know so much about this place, I don't know why. I don't know, though. I'm sure anybody thinking about what I just said, like, you're probably thinking, okay, well, that, you know, Jared, that's in retrospect. Like, you really can't criticize the developers, like, from a retrospective stance like that. Like, oh, well, if only retroactively somebody had gone in and fixed this. But, like, I don't know, I just feel like that would have been like, to me, that seems like the most common sense way to have handled this, instead of the way that they decided to do it. Like, I don't really understand how they thought this was the best way to do a game like this, and not have, you know, they wouldn't have had to switch up the narrative or anything. They could have kept the same narrative flow, but just, like, don't have me wandering around doing nothing for an hour. Like, if there's something else I could do.
Yo, bro!
Got a sec?
Can it wait? Got something to do now.
Got it.
Sorry.
Ugh. I don't know. This is probably why I'm not in game design, admittedly, but, I mean, I just kind of feel like, I don't know. Oh, wait a minute. What do we got here? Oh, damn it! Fucking Lord, that kills me every time that happens. I get excited. I'm like, oh, wait, did I? It's like, no, yeah, you didn't do anything. What about you?
Excuse me.
You got anything
I
for
got
me?
something on my mind, you see. Leave me alone, will ya?
That was the take you went with on that? Like, they had to have been rushing the voice acting. Like, there's no way. There's some of these takes they put in. I am blown away by just how that just felt like that was the coldest read imaginable, I think. Like, really serious. That is insanely cold read. Well, I don't think we're gonna find Terry now, are we? Oh, I don't know. You know, I know, like, most of the games I've finished, well, a couple of the games I've finished so far, I've done little, like, mini reviews for them. Well, I've done one for Hollow Knight. I did one for Devil May Cry 2, but I didn't do a playthrough of that, like a recorded playthrough of that. I'm not wasting any time with that shit. But, like, I don't know. I don't think I really need to do one for this game at this point. I feel like I made my thoughts pretty clear last episode on what I think of this game as a whole, and I'm sticking with it. 6 out of 10. It's above average, that's for sure. I mean, it's definitely above average, and I mean, you can see a lot of the see a lot of the effort on display in this game that the developers put forth. And, you know, there's not one lazily designed thing in this game, but like, my God, you know, I think, like, I don't know, I feel like this is the kind of game that could have done with like a second pass, like, you know, get the whole thing running, get it going, and then take a hard look at like stuff that works, and then look at the stuff that just isn't remotely fun to deal with, and then go from there. It's just so odd. So odd that this game ended up the way it did. You know what? Fuck it. I'm gonna go to the fortune teller. Do you have anything good to tell me? Maybe you could give me a hint.
Welcome to Lapis. I've been expecting you.
Like, what is that take? Like, what? Who?
Excuse me?
You are worried about something, yes?
Yes.
Shall I read your fortune, then? It's 300 yen per reading.
Yes, please.
Well, what type of reading would you like?
What is? Let's do clue.
Please tell me a clue.
Humph. The crystal ball will tell me nothing.
I see.
Shall I do another reading for you?
Yeah, let's try my future then?
Yes, please.
Well, what type of reading would you like?
Please show me the future.
Very well. Humph. Aha! I can see it now. Eyes like the eyes of a serpent. An evil one creeps like a spider toward the one who yearns for you. I am sorry. That's all I see.
I see.
I'm assuming that's Terry? Didn't quite look the way I
Shall
thought he
do
would,
another
but...
reading for you?
No.
No, thank you.
Well then, please come again when you seek guidance.
I will. Goodbye.
She reminds me of the fortune teller cat from Animal Crossing, and I kind of mean that as a compliment. Like, I wonder, because her whole room, that looks an awful lot like the little tent that is it Katarina? Is that her name? I think Katarina. I could be wrong. It's been so long since I played an Animal Crossing game. My God. But I remember there was a fortune teller cat, and she would have a little tent set up on certain days of the month or something, and that her interior of her tent looks exactly like that lady's little business. I don't know. I mean, I don't really know what else to do. I mean, like, Terry wasn't obviously at the harbor, and, I mean, I don't know. I really don't know. I really do know I want this game to be over. Like yesterday. Like, Lord God Almighty, it just feels so fucking stretched out. Like, just so stretched out in just the weirdest of ways, but I don't know. Should have called all these episodes Groundhog Day. It's like literally the same thing every single episode, but the only difference being my mood and my subject matter, and that's about it. Okay, I guess that's a good stopping point as any. So yeah, next episode, hopefully we can find Terry, wherever he might be. But in any case, I hope you've enjoyed it. Like, subscribe, comment at your leisure as usual, and thank you for watching. Please, by all means, if you can still put up with this shit, please join me for some more Shenmue next episode. Thank you again, and goodbye.
Hey, Rio, look!
Tom,
What?
What was that leg move?